All right, we're back to the Eastern Conference NBA Playoffs 2019. Round 1 starts tomorrow. This series we're going to break down is Philadelphia and Brooklyn. Now, I think Philadelphia has the best starting five in the Eastern Conference, top to bottom, if you just look at their starting five, with Ben Simmons, J.J. Reddick, Jimmy Butler, who you can put on a guy like Kawhi Leonard, Toby Harris, 20 points a game, who the Clippers traded. Toby Harris had the Clippers into the playoffs, basically. They were in the playoffs and they trade him. So they're getting a guy who all year was the best player of a team, who's used to carrying a load. And then not to mention who I think is the second best player in the East in Joel Embiid. Right behind Giannis. It's neck and neck. They're both averaging 27 and 13. I mean, come on. This series is very interesting, though. Brooklyn.
Well, it's interesting because you could make money off me. That's why it's interesting.
It's interesting because I could make money. Brooklyn's interesting because D'Angelo Russell, first-time All-Star, he's been balling. He can go get 40 in a game. He really can go get 40. But I think Philly's going to be too much. I got Philly in 6. Joel Embiid, 27 and 13. Ben Simmons, one of the best passers in the league. J.J. Reddick's going to have some 30-point games in this series. So I got Philly in 6.
Now, me and you bet on this series. Not that I thought the Nets were going to beat Philly, but like I said, our bet was that Philly is going to go out in the first round this year. But that was before the big trade. They got all these dudes. So whatever. Like I made the bet. So by default, I have to pick the underdog. I need an upset here. So Brooklyn is a team that I've watched them a few times. There was a game late in the year where it was getting down to the playoff seeding, and the Pistons were at Brooklyn. The game the Pistons were supposed to win, and they got smacked.
Right.
They had this one kid. I wish I knew his full name.
That foreign kid. He's a foreign kid.
This dude's really, really good. Like
he whooped our
this is
ass,
a scrappy team with young players. Got like Karis LeVert, just grind blue collar type dudes. Spencer Dinwiddie can score 20 points a game.
Spencer Dinwiddie's actually kind of nice.
Like these are guys who are just dudes that can play. Like dudes you could normal dudes. But they feel like the vibe I get from these.
And to
dudes.
me, the biggest narrative around Brooklyn is you see this a lot in the media if you turn on ESPN. They're doing all this without a star player. Like a Kawhi,
so
like a Kyrie, like a Klay Thompson.
This is such a classic style playoff team, I haven't seen a team like this in a long time. Not that they're overly talented, but just the way they get their wins. Just look at the roster and they find ways. It's almost like a Utah before Donovan Mitchell.
Right.
Like they just find ways to win games and they play ultra hard. And Philly is a team they talk a lot. I think Ben Simmons is extremely overrated in my opinion. He's an awful offensive player. That's why they have all these. That's why you need all these other offensive players. And I feel like they're looking ahead too far. They feel like they can crown themselves the best team in the East. And I think that's where I'd say Boston or Toronto, is more fit to do that. The fact that they have champions.
Right. They have champions.
I feel like Philly talks a lot. Like we'll see if they can back it up. Like Jimmy Butler, let's see what he's made of.
So in your prediction, how many games you got this series going?
I need an upset, so it'll take 7 if they win. This is you're pushing the Nets to the brink of what they can deal with. I'm not the Nets aren't trying to beat the Warriors or the Thunder, but this is still a tough team. That everyone's clearly going to say that they're the underdogs and favor Philly.
The reason why I'm not going to say you're crazy on this is because it's not like Orlando, Toronto. Like Brooklyn's competitive, and Philly. If they
have some good players. Embiid's the superstar. Sure.
If Philly struggles on offense, you know what I mean. Brooklyn might be able to steal a game or two.
I'm not saying
that could build confidence.
I've seen big upsets in the NBA. I've seen 1 seeds lose to 8 seeds. It's happened. 67 win teams have lost to 500 teams.
Well, to me, Philly, I've liked them all year.
Not that Philly's a 67 win team.
I've liked Philly all year, especially when they got Jimmy Butler.
On paper, they're very good, but I feel like there's going to be some, whose turn is it? I feel like they're going to have the problems Thunder had last year in the playoffs, trying to spread the shots around and integrate all these perfect shot attempts per game.
And that's likely.
I feel like they're right where we were last year. You know what I mean? They got to take out one guy. I think they're going to find out this year who you commit to, Harris or
Butler.
Jimmy Butler. But I don't think they're both going to gel in the playoffs when they both need to make these shots.
To me, I have the opposite opinion.
All right, go ahead.
I have the opposite opinion. Philly's my pick to get out of the East. They're my pick to get out of the East. Ben Simmons, he can average 10 assists a game. Jimmy Butler, one of the best two-way players and athletes we have in the game.
I'm agreeing on paper. This team.
There's no reason why this team shouldn't get out of the
so
East.
many cogs. Like sometimes too many cogs can mess up the machine.
Like I think Philly has a better chance to win this year than Boston.
Really?
I really believe that. So my pick is Philly in 6. What's your final pick?
I got to go Nets in 7 games.
Nets in 7. So all right, guys, it's the Fields Bros. Drop a comment down below. Who do you think is going to win this series, Philly or Brooklyn?
Who gets the $50? Me or my brother?
It's the Fields Bros. NBA playoffs. Peace.